Okay, this is going to be SOL Prep 5A and 5B. Okay, go through A, stop your video, then go to B. All right. So we've done these kinds before. Okay. So what you're going to want to do is break down 250. So that's going to be 2 and 125. I think the next one that would go into there, and you can always check by dividing, but I think the next one's going to be 5 and 25, and then that goes to 5 and 5. Okay. Since it's a cube root, I'm looking for groups of 3. I can no longer use those. Okay. So what I'm going to have on the outside is a 5. Okay, with a 2 on the inside. To figure out that, I'm going to do 3, and since it's a cube root, I'm going to divide by 3, which is just going to be 1. So I'm going to have 5 1 to the first out of the outside, so that's why that's going to be answer C. Fill in the blanks, okay? Now, what I'm going to do...
Corey and Kiera Wilson, please report to the main office. Corey and Kiera Wilson, please report to the main office.
Okay, 3, I'm going to drop all the variables for right now. Okay, so I get 24. It's going to go here. Okay, all right. I'm gonna put in that 1 there. All right, I'm going to add the 3 and the 4, which would be 7. The 5 and the 1, which would be a 6. And C only has 2, so it's going to be 2. Okay, the area of the rectangle is shown. What would represent the length? Okay, so what you're going to do here, this is very much like the boxes that we've had before. So you're going to have division. Okay, so if you type those in, you're going to get 9. Okay, so like if you get that 36 over 4, let your calculator do the work. It tells you 9. You're going to subtract these, so it's going to be x2. Then I subtract those, it's going to be y1. Okay, and so that is going to end up being my answer. Okay, going on to the next page. Number 4. What are the solutions to the following inequalities? Okay, so what you have to figure out is which inequality is which. Okay, now this one would be 3x equals 1. So that one's going to cross at 1/3. Okay, so that's going to be here. That x is going to be 1/3. So I automatically know that this one refers to this line. Okay, now what I have to figure out is I got to look at the y. Okay, all I got to do is look at the y, and if I divide that, since I divide by a negative, that's going to flip that around. So that means that's got to be below. Okay, so if I was doing this one, I'm going to put a 1 and a 2 because these would be the 2 parts that would be below. Okay, now obviously this one is associating with here, so I'm going to look at y is greater than 2, so that's got to be above. All right, so that's going to be here and here. Okay, so these are the 2 areas. I should probably use check marks. All right, these 2 have check marks. Okay, now what I have to do, it says which points are in the solution set. So I'm going to go ahead and look at those. So 1 over 3 up, nope. 3 over 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 up, yep, that's in the red, so that's going to be a point. 0, 1, 2, and 3, nope, that's not a point. 2 over 1, 2, 1 up, yep, that's going to be 1. Negative 1 over 2 up, nope, that's no good. So the only 2 there are going to be in that part, okay? Find the slope that passes through, okay? So that's minus a minus, turn the wheel. Turn the wheel. That's going to be negative 9, and if you subtract those, that's going to be negative 4 minus 1. I'm sorry, negative 4 minus negative 1, which is negative 3. And so negative 9 divided by negative 3 is going to be positive 3. Okay, so that's going to be positive 3 is my answer. Okay. Find the solution. All right, and I'm going to graph that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this my first line, this my second line. Okay, so I'm going to go to menu, I'm going to go to graph. All right, I'm going to delete this. All right, now, so the inequality is not eating this first line. Okay, so when I go to type, all right, I want something that's not going to eat that first line. So I'm selecting that one. Okay, as you notice, if I type in 3x, and you can use x instead of n, 3x minus 2 times 5 plus 4x. Okay, it executes. So that's not eating that. The other one, since that one goes this way, I'm going to move the other one the other way. Type. Okay, all right, I'm going to select this. And that one's going to eat the 15 is what I want. And I want to draw it. Okay, I can't really see it real well, so I'm going to do zoom auto. Okay, and I'm going to zoom out. Okay, so what I'm going to have here is G-solve intersection. I've got -5 and it goes to the right. So it's -5. And I'm going to have a filled in circle because that's an equal sign. And I'm going to be shading that way. Okay. All right, 2 rental car companies are competing for business. A company charges $50 per day plus 20 cents per mile. So that's going to be 50 plus 0.2x because that's the per. Okay, that's a tip to do that. This one's going to be $30 a day plus 0.6 per. Okay. Once again, I'm going to go back into this part. Now remember, when I delete this, I'm going to delete both of these. All right, I'm going to turn the type to y equals. I'm going to make sure I do that. All right, so 50 plus 0.2x. All right, is one line. 30 plus 0.6x is a second line. I'm going to draw. Okay, I can't see that, so I'm going to zoom auto. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. Zoom out. Okay, zoom out. I can see it's going to eventually cross. All right, move it over, G-solve intersection, and I've got an answer of x equals 50. Okay, since they're both only x, that's all I care about, and that's going to be my answer. All right, what are the coordinates of the y-intercept? Okay, the y-intercept is going to be located right here, which that's going to be 0, -2, so 0, -2. What is the range of the quadratic? Okay, so when I graph that, all right, I need a graph in order to tell. I'm going to graph. All right, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. Okay, I got x squared minus 2x plus 4. Oops, left off the 2. All right, I'm going to draw it. Okay, G-solve, this is going to be a minimum. So I got 1, 3. Okay, so when it goes like this, okay, it's a minimum. That's 1, 3. Now, since I'm talking about range, I'm talking about the y's. So that's going to go above, and then that's going to be 3. So it's going to be y is greater than 3 is going to be the range. Which of the zeros? So if I want to get zeros, I'm going to go to menu. I'm going to go to equa. Okay. I'm going to go to polynomial. I'm going to degree 2. I'm typing in 1. I'm typing in 13, and I'm typing in 36. And I solve, I get an answer of x equals -4 and x equals -9, which is that answer. Assume y varies inversely as x. Okay? If y equals 3, what is the value? All right, so since it varies inversely, I know I can multiply these two, so that gives me 36 over x. Okay, so I go to menu, I'm going to go to graph. All right, I got 36 divided by x. I'm going to draw it. If I want to set my calculator, say F3, F3, exit draw. Okay, all right, now I'm going to zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. You got to hit execute every time you zoom out. Okay, now they want me to calculate the x, so I'm going to G-solve over. I want to calculate the x. So I'm going to put in that 48 for y, and they tell me that x is 0.75. Okay. Going on to number 12. Surveying gasoline prices below. What's the absolute mean deviation? Let's go ahead and just go into the calculator. Menu, stat, all right, 2.79, 2.75, 2.69, 2.81, 2.71. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and delete all these values over here. I'm going to calculate. I'm doing 1 vars. My 0.045. I'm going to select the closest one to that, which I'm going to select that one. Okay. Suppose the SAT among adults is seen as normally distributed with a mean of 50 and a standard deviation of 60. Find the z-score. Okay. So once again, the z-score is your item minus your symbol that's going to be your mean, and that's going to be your standard deviation. Okay, so I'm trying to find the z-score. 500 is my mean. 60. All right, the 680 is going to go here. It's going to be 180 divided by 60, which will end up being 3. Okay. The box and whisker plot shows the scores on a physics test of 18 students. Notice 2 students have the same score. How many students scored 75 or higher? Okay, so 18 divided by 2 is 9. Great, boom, that's good. 9 divided by 2, 4.5. Okay, that's not good. So that first one means, since I had the second one didn't work, I got ones there. All right, so I'm going to reduce to 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I have 4 in this section, 4, 4, and 4. If you add all those up, you get 18. Okay, so it says how many students scored 75 or higher? Okay, so that's 75 or higher. Since it includes that, that's going to be 1, 5, 9, 10, 14. Okay? If it said higher than 17, it would just have been those over. Okay? Determine the curve of best fit. Okay, quadratic curve. So I know it's going to be a quadratic. All right, so I'm going into menu, stat, execute. I'm going to delete all those. I'm going to type in -3. I'm going to type in 0. I'm going to type in 1. Type in 7.3. Whoops, not 7.3. I'm going to type in -1. I'm going to type in -6. And I'm going to type in -7 for the x's. There's 6 points there. All right, that's good. Always double check your amounts. 2. All right, 5. All right, 7.3. All right, 3.3. All right, 5. All right, 7.3. If you wanted to look at it, I can graph it, okay? But if I calculate, since they told me quadratic, I know it's going to be x squared. So I got the one that's going to be, let's try to find the one that's got 0.33 for x squared. Okay, the closest one has got to be this, and as you see all that other information, that lines up. So that's why that answer is A, okay? And that is 5A. We're now going to go on to 5B. Go ahead and hit pause. Go through 5B on your own, and then I'm going to go through the answers. Okay, let's go through these, okay? 320 here, all right? So I got 2 and 160. So basically I'm going to divide by 2, 80, divide by 2, that's going to be 40, 20, 2 is 10, 2 is 5. Can't use any of these. Okay? So since it's cubes, I'm looking for triples. 1, 2. All right, that's going to be the lone person inside. I got 2 times 2 on the outside, which would be 4 cube root of 5. Okay? All right. I'm going to take m3 divided by 3 is just going to be 1, so that's m to the first on the outside. If I pick that one out, that's going to be f. Okay? This problem, all right, so I go into menu. All right, I'm just going to lose all those variables. So I got 5 and I got 7. 35. Okay. 2 and 9 is going to be 11. 4 and, okay, there's a 1 there. 5. So if you don't see one, you got to put one there. And then I just have C6. Okay. What's the area? So I got to figure out here. So what I'm going to do is do division. Okay. Once again, I'm going to let my calculator do the work there. That's 28 divided by 7. Okay, which is 4. I'm going to subtract these. That's x1. Subtract these. It's going to be y3. Okay. So x1, y3. Boom. There you go. There's my letter there. Number 4, circle the points. Okay, so if I look at that top one, all right, I'm really only concerned with the y's, all right. If I divide by 3, I get y is greater than -1. All right, well, which one's at -1? Okay, so this one refers to this line right here. Since it's greater than, that means I would be in these above sections, okay? Now this other one I know is going to refer to this line. Okay, so I got 3y is greater than 6. If I divide by 3, I get y greater than 2. Okay, so the above sections for that would be this one and this one. So all of this would be answers. Okay, so let's see if I can get this. 4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that works. -2 over 2 up. Nope. 0, -4. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 up. Yep. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down 1. Yep, that works. 3, 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, and that looks like that one works. So all of those end up working. Find the slope, minus a minus. turn the wheel, all right, so that's -8 and -7. Turn the wheel, 7 and -4. That's going to be -15 over. Careful on the subtraction, that's -7 minus -4, which is -3. And if I divide those in my calculator, I would get 5 for an answer. Okay, moving on to number 6. Okay, an inequality. Okay, first line, second. Since it has that inequality, I know it's going to be an open circle. Okay, so as you can see, it's eating the value that I want. So when I go into graph, all right, I'm going to have, whoops, let me go back. I select my type, all right. I want it to make sure it's eating that, so I'm selecting this, okay. And I double check, is it going to eat my expression? Yeah, 4x minus 3 times 6 plus 2x, all right. Whatever you select for the first one, just flip it around for the other, type, okay. That's going to be 6, and that's exactly, it's not eating that, so I'm going to draw it, okay. I'm going to F3, exit draw, see if that helps. I'm going to zoom auto, see if that helps, okay. I'm going to zoom out, see if that helps. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm going to do G-solve, intersect. I got -12, and remember it's shaded to the left, so I got -12, and I'm going to shade it that way, okay? All right, 2 rental car companies, okay, charge $25 per day plus per mile driven, okay, 25 plus 0.65x equals, all right, $40 a day plus 0.25 per mile, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead back into the same section. I'm going to go to exit. Now when I delete, I'm deleting, I'm doing type, y equals, and now I'm starting my process. 25 plus 0.65x, 40 plus 0.25x. Okay, I'm drawing it, okay? I'm going to zoom out, all right? I'm going to zoom out, all right? I'm going to do G-solve, intersect, and 37.5 is what I'm looking for. All right, which one is that? That's going to be that answer. Okay, that's number 7. Number 8, what are the coordinates of the y-intercept of 2x minus 4? Okay, that's the wrong graph. Okay, all right, so that's the wrong graph there. All right, so what you should do is go into your calculator. All right. Okay, x squared plus 2x minus 4. All right, draw. All right. G-solve. G-solve y-intercept, and it's 0, -4. Okay, so please ignore that picture. You want to graph it. All right. What is the range of this? Okay. So once again, I'm going to go into here. Okay, and I'm going to delete that. All right, I got x squared plus 4x minus 1, draw, okay, F3, exit draw, okay, so I'm going to do a G-solve, I'm picking minimum, so I'm -2, -5, okay, -2, -5. As you can see, if I'm doing range, everything's above that, so it's going to be y is greater than or equal to -5, okay. 10, what are the zeros? Okay, I'm going to go to exit, I'm going to go to equal. Anytime I'm trying to find solutions, zeros, I'm going to the polynomial, degree 2, 1, -12. If I solve that, I get 3 and -4, which would be h. Y varies inversely as x. Okay, so what that means is to come up with my equation, if I multiply those, that's going to be 40 over x. Okay. Now to find this other one, I'm going to go in and graph it. All right, menu, okay, graph, all right, 40 divided by x. I'm going to draw, all right, I'm going to zoom out a bunch, zoom out 1, 2, and I'm going to do 3, all right. I'm G-solved, that want me to calculate x, so find x, when y is 25. And that is going to be 1.6. Okay, and there's my answer there. Moving on to number 12. All right, another absolute deviation problem. Make sure I don't leave out any over here. Let's move this over. Okay, I'm going to menu. I'm going to stat. I'm going to, let me delete all this stuff. Delete. Okay, delete. Okay, 3.54, 4.29, 3.66, 4.01, 3.16. Calculate 1 vars, okay, 0.389. I'm going to go ahead and select that one. Okay. All right, suppose the SAT score is normally distributed. Find the z-score. So that's going to be 640 minus 550, which is my mean, divided by 45. Okay, let me go back to my menu. 640 minus 545 is that, divided by 45, it's going to be 2.11. Okay, the box and whisker plot shows 22 kids. Okay, 22 divided by 2 is good, that's 11, that's good. 11 divided by 2, that was 5.5, which is no good. So that ones are going to go here. Okay, so I'm going to reduce the 10. 10 divided by 2 would be 5. So each part's got 5. Okay, now it says 87 or below. So I'm going to include this all the way over. So 1, 5, 6, 11, 12, 17. And that's going to be my answer. Okay, once again, if this said below only, you would not count the 1, you would just count over. Okay? All right, determine the quadratic. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in. I'm going to go to menu, stat. Oops. All right, stat. I'm going to delete all these. I'm going to go with -4, 0, 2, 0.5, -5, -2, type 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 1.75, 3.9, 16.5, 7.2, 3.3, and what's this last one? 0.5. Calc, reg, x squared. Which one has 0.76 x squared? These two are close, so I'm going to compare them, but that's no comparison right there. So that's going to end up being your answer. Okay? That's well, 5. Go ahead and try 5C, and you should do well.